Look who we have here.
Well.
Well.
Well. Ron Burgundy, the Channel 4 news team.
Well, if it isn't Professor Know-It-All.
Well.
Well, if it isn't Will Wheaton.
Well. How the turntables.
Okay, I think I get where this intro is going.
Well, it was great.
Guys, we got to talk about elemental wells. We've been through the Warmind cells meta, making quite literally everything explode. No, like seriously, guys, everything used to go boom at all times. Now that Warmind cells have been brought down from mini nukes to, well, water balloons, and this season Bungie sneakily nerfed protective light, bringing it down from a 40% damage reduction to 10%, and on top of that made spawning orbs cost mod slots. Now we have this super confusing system that poops out random little purple, blue, and orange balls. I've had a ton of people ask me to make a video explaining how these mods work, so here we are. We're gonna go through all of the mods as of the recording of this video and split them into 3 sections: well creation, well consumption, and well alteration. The first set of mods will create different scenarios that will create wells. The second set will consume them, granting ability, energy, or increased damage. And the final section will alter mods to perform other unique functions. I'm also going to give you guys a rating on each mod from 1 to 5 eggs on how effective they are to hopefully have you prioritizing getting some over others, given that some of you may not have everything. By the way, a great source is Destiny Insights on Twitter, which updates both Ada's and Banshee's daily mod offerings. So for anyone that is new or returning to the game, jump on Twitter, give them a follow, and hit that noti bell so you can know when that mod you're missing is up. All right, enough Rikakis intro. Let's get into why you're here. At their base, with no consumption mods equipped, elemental wells will grant your lowest ability 10% energy when picked up. If you have a matching subclass energy to the energy of the well you just picked up, it will instead grant all of your abilities 10% energy. Oh, and PvP demons.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Sorry, these don't work in the Crucible. I know you guys heard ability energy and got excited to definitely outskill your opponents, but looks like you still have to do the bang bang shooty thing. Sorry guys. These wells can stay on the ground for up to 20 seconds with the help of a mod we will talk about later. With their base function out of the way, let's get into the mods that help you create these little guys. So in no particular order, our first mod in the well creation section is elemental armaments. It states combatant weapon final blows with a damage type that matches your subclass element have an escalating chance to spawn an elemental well. According to Quartz D2 data compendium, link in the description to that absolute monster of a document. Defeating a rank and file ad will grant 15% progress per kill, elites will grant 34%, and mini bosses and bosses have a guaranteed drop. Obviously for ads and elites, once you hit 100% on the in-game counter, it will drop a well. This mod came in absolutely clutch on my Nuclear Guardian build from last season, which link is up in the top right and down in the description, and will feature on this season's nuke build coming soon. 5 eggs, easy. Next up is Elemental Light, which states defeating a combatant with your super spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. If you're running a roaming super, I would say this thing fries. Hammer Titan, Stormcaller, Behemoth, Arcstrider, basically any super where you're stringing kills together will utilize this mod heavily. I'm not gonna lie, 3.5 eggs on this one. It's powerful, but I prefer to build into my neutral game more rather than add clear super when it comes to most endgame stuff. Elemental Ordnance is up next, and if you like watching things explode, this is the mod for you. Defeating a combatant with a grenade spawns an elemental well that matches your subclass energy type. This mod will definitely be featured in the upcoming Nuke Part 2 build video. 5 eggs. Easy peasy. Every grenade kill spawns a well. Pair this with a few others on this list and you'll go full-blown sicko mode. Shield Crash Wellmaker kind of hints at what it does in the name, but it's basically shield break charge but in elemental well form. Breaking a combatant's shield with a matching weapon type creates an elemental well. 4 eggs. For GMs and match game content, this mod is actually nasty. You're breaking shields all the time, and again, combo this with a few other mods and it's raining wells. Non-match game content, and it kind of falls back in the pecking order if I'm being honest. Overcharge Wellmaker comes up next, and it states that defeating a combatant with a finisher spawns 2 arc elemental wells. Honestly, for finisher stuff, this is kind of tough. There are other finisher mods that are good, but there's also the argument against finishers in endgame content. That said, pair this with an Aeons build and the value comes flying out. I would say probably around 3 eggs on this one. Now back to the good stuff. Explosive Wellmaker states rapidly defeating combatants with explosive damage spawns a solar elemental well. 5 eggs, plain and simple. This mod was integral in last season's nuke build and will absolutely feature in the next one. With Void 3.0 and specifically the fragment Echo of Expulsion, where Void ability final blows cause targets to explode, this mod goes absolutely crazy. And with the Solar 3.0 rework just around the corner, guys, get this mod ASAP. I'm actually going to change my rating to a 6 eggs out of 5. I make the rules around here. Don't at me in the comments. Next up is Reaping Wellmaker, where after activating your class ability, your next weapon final blow spawns the Void Elemental Well. For Warlocks and Titans, this one is a solid meh at best, in my opinion, because our cooldowns on our rifts and barriers are a little bit longer. But for you Hunter Jumpy boys, since y'all dance around like MJ all the time, hitting red bar ads with the old this mod is nasty. If you're on Hunter, this is like a 4.5. Warlocks and Titans, well, Melee Wellmaker is next, and right now during Season of the Risen, it's on our artifact and available for 1 energy, which is huge. By the way, I'll give you guys 3 guesses on what it does. If you guys guess that Melee Wellmaker spawns Elemental Wells on powered melee final blows, congrats, you can read. I'm proud of you. 5 out of 5 eggs. Bonk Titans, Throwing Knife Hunters, Striker Titans. I mean, the combos are really endless. For those of you out there with anger issues that want to get in game and punch everything in the face, well, have a well spawn while you let off some steam. Oh, and breathe every now and again. You'll be okay. Supreme Wellmaker sounds like a Taco Bell item, but regrettably, it doesn't spawn a Burrito Supreme upon a final blow. It does, however, spawn 3 stasis elemental wells near you on Supercast. Having well mods tied to your super is still a bit weird for me. Again, I try to build into my neutral game, augmenting my weapon damage or charging my abilities, or both. 2 eggs for me, but if you have a build that works for you, let me know down in the comments. Our final well creation mod is one that literally doubles every single well creation mod on this list. No, literally, if you slap this mod on, it doubles well creation. If a mod drops 2 wells, well, this makes it 4. Bountiful Wells is the mod, and the wording is a little bit confusing, but just remember that it doubles wells created by any mod we just covered. 100 eggs out of 5. It was actually 50 eggs out of 5, but because I had Bountiful Wells on, you get it. This should literally be part of every single build you create. If you don't have room, make room. Seriously. Now that you're creating wells like a weirdo that runs Well of Radiance and Mayhem, let's put them to use. The next mods are all about turning those wells into stat boosts or weapon damage boosts or ability recharge. First up, probably the best mod on this list, Font of Might. Picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy grants bonus weapon damage to weapons of that same energy type. The damage bonus is 25%, which at first you're like, meh, whatever, Rampage times 3 is 33%, but what if I told you that Font of Might quite literally stacks with everything? Argent Ordnance, you know that Godslayer Warheads mod? Stacks. Rampage, Kill Clip, Firing Line, Adrenaline Junkie, Swash, stacks. Bubble, Well of Radiance, High Energy Fire, stacks. Wait, this thing really stacks with High Energy Fire? Yep, it does. Isn't that like a 45% damage buff? Good God. Guys, the Nuke Part 2 build I have coming pairs Font of Might with Volatile Rounds, with Void Weaken, with Argent Ordnance, and maybe even Explosive Light or Golden Tricorn. I'm still testing that, resulting in what I'm hoping will be over a 55 to 60% damage bump. I'm hoping I can get it a little bit higher than that. Now, I've seen some people say that you should run multiple Font of Might mods to get more damage. No, don't do this. It doesn't stack with itself. I tested it. It grants 25% buff with a single mod slotted, and it does not go up. That said, I do know that it does sync with elemental time dilation, and each copy will add more time to Font of Might's uptime. Is it that worth it running multiple? This season, since Font of Might is 1 energy, I would say maybe. After this season, just don't, to be honest. Just really don't. Oh, by the way, this one is a 69 eggs out of 5. Deal with it. Next up is Font of Wisdom, and it states picking up an elemental well that matches your subclass energy grants a temporary significant increase in intellect. It does actually bump your intellect to tier 10 for around 30 seconds, and after the recent changes to super cooldowns, tier 10 intellect for certain supers means quite literally next to nothing. It's still an eternity. Guys, I hate to break it to you, this mod doesn't really do a whole lot for you. Look at the difference in the cooldown it makes while it's active. Now compare it to the cooldown with ashes to assets on Void. It's quite literally night and day. 1 egg, and it's a rotten egg at that. Well of Ions is next, and it increases your next melee to deal increased damage after picking up an Arc Elemental Well. After 1 Arc Well pickup, you're granted a 30% bonus melee damage for around 11 seconds. Every subsequent well pickup increases the duration by 5 seconds for a max of 30 seconds. Is this 1-2 punch? Nope, not even close. is 30% worth building into when compared to other ways to increase melee damage? Again, not really. So this mod sits right at a 1 egg out of 5. There are several other options that offer far more utility than this. Moving on. Well of Life is next, and this mod is very similar to the mod Better Already, where picking up a solar elemental well grants healing for a short duration. It's around 13 HP for 11 seconds, and guys, this is actually huge because it continues to heal even if you take damage. Look at this footage. I'm taking shots from 2 abominations and still alive, and it is quite literally due to Well of Life that I was able to make it out of that room alive. Huge mod for a survivability build. To be honest, I have slept on this mod up until this point, but definitely won't going forward. 4.5 out of 5. Now, staying with mods that offer added survivability, we've reached the viable replacement to Protective Light, Well of Tenacity. Picking up a Void Elemental Well grants a whopping 50% damage resist against combatants for 6 seconds. Now, I know that it's not reactive like Protective Light is, but 50% is huge. If you can build out a combo of these mods that generate enough wells, you'll have this procced most of the time and just be a literal walking tank. 6 out of 5 eggs. This mod is going to be huge in endgame content. Next up is Well of Striking, and it states that picking up an Arc Elemental Well grants you additional melee energy. For melee based builds, this mod can actually be huge. Paired with Melee Wellmaker, this mod basically self-procs after each melee kill. Throw the Stasis Armor mod melee kickstart on and you'll fulfill your Titan destiny of punching everything in sight. 4 eggs out of 5. Transitioning from melee, let's make everything explode, or as Shax wants, throw more grenades, Guardian. Well of Ordnance states picking up a solar elemental well grants you additional grenade energy. A staple. In my nuke build from last season, this mod grants a healthy, oh yeah, healthy amount of grenade energy. And again, putting this in a build with explosive wellmaker and grenade kickstart means, well, you'll see. Obvious 6 out of 5. Well of Restoration is the jack of all trades mod where picking up a Stasis Elemental Well grants additional energy to the ability with the lowest energy. A good mod, but one that isn't super focused to any playstyle. This is great for general ability regeneration, but does require some building into. There are definitely other mods that synergize better with each other and offer more consistent ability energy to a specific playstyle you're going for. Probably about a 3 out of 5. Finally, we've got Well of Utility, and it grants additional class ability energy after picking up a Void Elemental Well. At its base, I can definitely see how this may appear as low value, but combined with Reaping Wellmaker, and it'll offer the same synergy as the combos with Well of Ordnance and Well of Striking. That said, it's definitely for niche builds around class ability, and the cooldowns there are usually pretty low no matter what class you're running. I can definitely think of a few cases where it would offer some value, but let's be real, all of you demons watching this either want to blow stuff up or punch stuff, so yeah, rifts are cool and all, but make more explode. 3.5 eggs. All right, guys, with well creation and consumption out of the way, we still have a few mods remaining that don't quite fit into either of those categories perfectly. For that, our final category is all about well alteration. And I know that not everything in this part alters wells per se. Some of them use them in different ways and some modify their behavior, and well, other didn't quite sound super catchy, so here we are. First up is Elemental Charge, which is basically the Charge with Light mod taking charge, where when you pick up an Orb of Power, you become charged with light. Elemental Charge just makes it where you pick up an elemental well, you become charged with light. So this is a 2 birds, 1 stone type of approach. After Orb creation got slapped at the beginning of this season, Elemental Charge, I would say, is a very viable alternative to taking charge, and in some ways might be a little bit easier to utilize. 10 eggs out of 5. This is in almost every single elemental well build I create and leads to some wild stacking creations. Next up is Seeking Wells, and this mod can either enable your laziness or help you stay focused on the activity you're in. Elemental wells you create will move across the ground toward nearby players. For you, it will appear as though the wells only track to you, and this can eliminate the need for your entire fire team to run over and collect the wells while in risky situations. Is it one that I use often? To be honest, not really, but I might in the future. This season, I'm very conflicted given that we have Font of Might available for 1 energy and Volatile Flow as a second seasonal mod, which if I'm using both of them, that only leaves me with 3 more combat style mods, and I still need a creation mod, so depending on your build, you may not have room for this one, but it is a great mod landing a 4 egg rating. So if you want wells that follow you around like the nightmare inducing colony shots from the mountaintop era, look no further. Next up is Elemental Shards, and for people looking for some absolutely wild stasis builds, guys, this is the mod. It states stasis shards count as stasis elemental wells for you. So for anyone running Glacial Harvest, this mod mod goes absolutely crazy. Super regeneration, near infinite abilities, and other possibilities are made possible by this mod. Another wild combo for elemental shards is pairing it with Aeger's Scepter. Quick ad clear and shard generation lead to more shards than the game can probably know how to render at one time. 5 eggs out of 5 for probably the best stasis well mod in the game. Elemental time dilation is next, and this is something that just makes everyone last longer.
Don't be nasty.
No, for real. Elemental well mods that grant you time limited benefits can now stack, increasing the duration of the effect for each copy of the mod you have equipped. 4 eggs out of 5. It's a great mod, but I would rather lean into creating more wells than making their effects last longer. But that is 100% me. In other builds, I do actually go the other way. I will probably start messing with this mod a little bit more going forward because I know some of you guys are probably about to rip me a new one in the comments section. So yeah, I'll give it a try, I promise. Finally, we have Enduring Wells, which does the same thing as Elemental Time Dilation, but just for the wells as they sit on the ground. To recap, it makes them last longer.
Nasty perros, listen to me.
Okay guys, for real, pull your heads out of the gutter. Good God. Officially, it states increases the lifespan of elemental wells you create. Multiple copies of this mod stack. I'm not gonna lie, in my opinion, this mod is useless. If you're using seeking mods, it's completely irrelevant. If you're near the enemies you're killing, you're grabbing the wells before they despawn anyway. Why waste time? 1 out of 5. Go grab the wells quickly, you lazy shits. Now, we have covered all of our mods, so how do I get the most out of them? The way I approach builds with elemental wells is look at what I want out of it. Like, do I want more grenades or do I want bonus weapon damage, for example? Then use the thing I'm building into to also create wells. So if I want infinite grenade regen, I want my grenades to also create the wells. This is one of my approaches to building into elemental wells. You can have multiple end results for elemental well builds as well. It's not really like a, hey, I want nades and a side of fries, and the waiter looks at you like you're a greedy shit. I'm here to tell you, you can have your side of fries. Now, not to continue plugging my own videos, but the nuke build from last season focused on making things go boom with both Tikus and grenades. I then had them flow into making Ascendancy do increased damage. Well mods and some charge with light mods all function together to make that happen. This season's nuke build, maybe nuke builds, will do the same. While I finish that video, a great place to start is play with how Void 3.0 can interact with elemental wells. There are some wild combos in there, and this season with Volatile Flow and Font of Might being 1 energy, you may find that you get frustrated because you run out of room for all the things you want to build for. Guys, with all that said, I hope you found this elemental well overview helpful, and if you did, hit that like button so YouTube pushes this one to more Guardians. If you have any questions or any build ideas, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get to all of them. As I've mentioned many times, the Nuclear Void Guardian build is on its way, and this video is going to be a big one. So if you haven't, hit that sub button, trigger the bell to get notified when that video goes live. I appreciate you all for spending your time here. Thank you guys all for clicking on this video and watching, and until next time, I have been Teagues, you have been beautiful. Peace.